In this video we will show hydratk extension testenv. First we will install library network. The library uses many dependent modules, so the installation is longer. Now we installed testenv extension. Let's check installed modules testenv, network and webpi. Command list extensions displays testenv extension. The extensions provides commands install, run. The extension has also standalone command testenv. And provides commands help, run, install. We will show directory structure. Directory etc contains the configuration file. It is not necessary to change it. Directory var is for application purpose. Subdirectory testenv contains SQL scripts and web services description. Yoda tests are installed together with the extension. Directory lib contains 4 files. Directory helpers contains 1 file. Directory Yoda tests contains 8 files. We will install the environment using command install. SQLite database file was created. We will show the structure used as customer model representation. The top table is for the customer. Table for payer related to the customer. Table for subscriber related to customer and payer. Table for contacts. Table for contact roles related to the contact. 3 entities can have roles. Table for addresses. Table for address roles related to the address. 4 entities can have roles. Table for services which can assign to 3 entities. Service has its parameters. Table for history and complete log. List of entity statuses. List of customer segments. List of payer bill cycles. List of subscriber markets. List of subscriber tariffs. List of contact roles. List of address roles. List of services and its parameters. We start the environment using command run. It is the web server. Graphical application is located on main page. Customer form with basic operations. The same for payer and subscriber. Contact form with roles on the second tab. The same for address with roles. Web services description is available in WSDL file. Entities description in XSD file. We start client. We will download testenv repository from GitHub using git client. We will display used files. New project was created as clone. Directory tests contains file for Yoda extension. Open file size db Jedi. We will explain the principles on database interface tests. The first scenario tests customer operations. The requirements import helpers and the client connects to database. The first case tests customer creation. The condition defines customer parameters and calls appropriate helper function. The function returns the identifier. The second condition reads created customer using helper. It checks whether the returned data are equal input. The second case tests customer change. It sets new parameter values and calls function. And passes the identifier. It checks logical value. The second condition reads the customer and compares data. The client disconnects in requirements. The second scenario tests same operations for payer. The third scenario tests same operations for subscriber. The fourth scenario tests same operations for contact. Also it tests contact role assignment on every available entity. And also the revoke. The fifth scenario tests same operations for address. Address role assignment and revoke is tested on every available entity. The sixth scenario tests same operation for service. The service has also its parameters. The helper file is very simple. It contains only imports from interface libraries. The library for database interface is simple and uses extension functions. Connection and the operations with parameters. We start the environment in debug mode. And execute tests in file size db/jedi. "34 tests were executed in total. We check the changes in database. 1 customer and payer were created. 1 subscriber and contact without roles. 1 address without roles. Two services with three parameters. All operations were written to the history. We execute the tests in debug mode. Details with SQL commands are displayed. Web server log doesn't display them. We open file size rest Jedi. The structure is similar to database but operations are tested via REST interface. Customer creation test is similar. Different technology is hidden in the helper. Open REST interface library. The constructor sets client parameters according to extension configuration. Customer creation function mainly contains object creation and JSON realization. It calls REST service using HTTP method post, processes the status code and returns identifier. Customer change function is very similar. It uses HTTP method put and return logical value. Customer read functions uses HTTP method getter passes the identifier and URL. It processes JSON data and creates customer object to return. The library uses REST client from network library and extension entities. We execute tests in file size rest Jedi. The details are displayed in log, URL, HTTP status code and JSON data. Web server log displays details with JSON data and internal database operations. Open file size SOAP Jedi. The structure is similar. It uses different helper for SOAP interface. Open SOAP interface library. The constructor sets parameters according to extension configuration for SOAP client from network library. Customer creation functions Mali prepares XML document. Passes it to client and sets action. It processes XML output and return the identifier. Customer change function is similar. It returns logical value. Customer read function uses simple input data. The is more code for processing output data and customer object creation. We execute tests in file size SOAP Jedi 114 0 hours, 25 minutes, and 20 seconds, 0 hours, 25 minutes, and 25 seconds. Input and output XML data are displayed in the log. As well in web server log including internal database operations. Open file size GUI Jedi. The structure is similar. It uses different helper for GUI interface. Open GUI client library. It uses Selenium from network library. The constructor sets its parameters and uses Firefox browser. It contains for browser opening and closing. And functions for tab switching. Customer creation functions fills the form in Selenium specific way. The elements are located using identifier. Customer change function is similar. Customer read function reads data from form elements. We execute tests in file size GUI Jedi. The tests are executed in Firefox. Details of elements operations are displayed in the log. Web server log displays database operations. Next we open file smoke Jedi. It contains environment availability tests. The database test connects, executes query and disconnects. REST interface tests check services URLs using HTTP method GET. HTTP status code 400 is returned because the identifier was not passed. SOAP interface tests check URLs with WSDL and XSD files. GUI interface test checks main URL. We execute the tests in standard mode. Next we will show integration tests via REST interface. The customer is created using inline test with appropriate condition from file size REST JEDI. And it is read from database using appropriate inline test from file size DB JEDI. It is easy to compose integration tests from prepares system tests. The integration tests of GUI interface show suitable approach when system tests are not prepared. The customer is created in GUI and it is read from database. Integration tests for SOAP interface show usage of archive file with Yoda extension. We compose the tests from appropriate system tests. We will show archive execution. All executed test sets are displayed in the summary. Now we will show extension files used in the libraries. File entities contains data models and functions for serialization to JSON and XML formats. FileDB handler contains functions for database operations.